Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. Today we're continuing our world tour. We are currently in Narsarsuaq, Greenland. We're going to be heading east, head over the Atlantic, and over to Keflavik in Iceland. Should be a good flight. We do currently have airport ETC up in Keflavik, so hopefully they're there when we arrive. Short flight, just looking at roughly 2 hours gate to gate, about an hour and a half. Roughly airtime. So we are here in the Phoenix A320. Let's hop on board and we can start getting everything up and running. Alright, we are on board the aircraft. Cockpit preparations are done. Make sure the parking brake is set. We'll lift that up out of the way so we can access the panel. Ground power is available. External power is now on. And batteries 1 and 2 are now turned on as well. Kick the lights up so we get a little bit of definition on our panels. And there we go. And with that all set, we can start getting our passengers on board. Almost a full flight today.
Boarding requested. Do you want to board crew?
No.
Passengers bus is coming.
We got about 142 passengers on board the aircraft. So with the passenger bus coming, we can start setting up for flight. So we'll get the ADIRS up and going. Evac sign is Captain Purser. We'll get the no smoking and portable devices signs on. Nav lights are on, indicating power to the aircraft. Crew oxygen is on. Generators 1 and 2 are on and in fault. Packs 1 and 2 are on and in fault. Cockpit hit will leave at medium.
Passengers boarding starting.
We can do our fire warnings now. There's our APU. Engine 1. And engine 2. Emergency exit lights are now armed. Icing indicator standby compass is on. And cargo heat is set to cold. Alright, down to the FMC we go. First off, we'll get in here. We'll set up our pad here. We'll get our flight in. There we go, 41 minutes till takeoff. Ground service, as you can see, we're loading through the doors front and back for today's flight. And we can come over here. We have 142 passengers, 3 tons of cargo, 7.2 tons of fuel. We're going to load the aircraft instant load, which is what we want to do. We'll come back over here to ground services, make sure that everything is still working out there. There's everybody coming on board from the bus and bags loading as well. We'll get that door. I was worried that door would close, so we'll get that reopened again. The reason I loaded this in instantly is I can now come over here to Roger's side and going into the message system. Let's go back here. We'll force that load sheet over. We can grab our final weight and balance load sheet so we can do our programming as we need to. So into the system, we are active database 13 July to 9 August, and we will initialize and bring in our flight plan. Short flight today, only about 5 or 6 waypoints. 2 of them are longitude out over the ocean. We'll see how they are brought in. Flight number, as we're on the tour, is our standard Fly UK flight number, 5556. Cost index for this aircraft is 23. We're going at the cruise level of flight level 370 today as well. We'll pop in, we'll grab our climb and descent winds for planning purposes. There we go. Winds are in, and we can now come over to our initialization pages. So our block fuel today is 7.2 tons. We'll get that in. Zero fuel weight, again, pop over here. Our zero fuel weight is 58.5. And our center of gravity zero fuel weight is 30.0. We'll enter that. That's all good. And one last thing, we'll grab our flight plan, look at our fuel, and our reserve fuel is 1 ton. We'll put that in here. There we go. And we come over to our flight plan now. So as you can see, we're going to be taking off. We've got a couple waypoints here. Given the mountains and everything, what we're going to be doing is we're going to fly basically directly ahead until about 3,000 feet, and then we're going to turn back towards the airfield, which is this beacon here, and then we'll be heading off on our track, and then we come in to the airport here. So our departure today, I'll grab the winds. Currently here in Greenland, it is 260 at 5. Put them in the chat. So winds 260 at 5. That means we'll be using runway 24. And there's no departure SID. It's just going to be out until we're clear, and then we'll make the turnaround and do our thing. For our arrival, the winds are currently out of the west at Keflavik. We actually have ATIS up there. We can just do a quick check, which I will do now. So if I pull up the ATIS there, it says they are using runway 28, which fits in with the current weather. So we're going to do the ILS Zulu for runway 28. We're going to be on the, just pull up my approach, the Eldish 3H. And we'll enter that in. I'm just going to pull up the waypoints. So we're on Eldish, Malab, KEF 372, Ogles, and then KIF 28, which is not what I want. I want to add one more. So after Ogles, after Ogles, we are going to go to Adova. That will give us a little bit more room to get the aircraft stable and set up and ready to go. There's Adova. We're going to clear that out. Let's go back to our temporary flight plan. Insert. And we'll take out that. Okay, hang on, let me take out the discontinuity. There we go. So we'll go Ogles, then Adova, then we turn in towards KFI 28, and then at Ardal is where we will intercept at 1,800 feet for the ILS. So that is all in, and if we come up and take a look, I go plan mode. See, that's us coming in here, and then we'll swing around from here, and then down we go. So that's looking good there. That's what we want to see. Sounds like everybody's on board. Get rid of that one. Doors are still open. No, they've pulled the doors. And for taxi out, we're basically going to start in place. We'll ignore the ground equipment. We're going to move down to the taxiway here, backtrack up to the end, and we will be departing off to the west, flying down the valley as we gain altitude. Alright, so as we carry on with our setup here,
we're ready to go when you are.
there's the cabin. Alright, so we can return
Ladies
here.
and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This is your flight attendant.
That is now all done. We can go over to our performance.
All carry-on items are in the overhead bins, and your small items
Let's
are
go into our departure performance.
If you have any trouble or need any assistance,
Alright, we're going to be taking off on runway 25. Surface is dry. We'll bring in the load sheet, we'll bring in the weather, and we'll calculate.
As a courtesy to other passengers. Once all your items are put away, please clear the
go.
aisle and sit down in your seat to allow other passengers
So we
to
have
find their
127,
seats as well. If you are seated
140,
in an emergency exit row,
140.
please read the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card in the seat back in front of you. Please make sure you are willing and able to perform the actions
And that
required.
V1 is because
If you are
it's a
not able or
slightly
prefer not
downhill
to perform
slope.
these actions, please let a
And we
flight
need
attendant
the
know if you need to
space.
be released. You are free
And then we
to
got
use your portable
a
electronic
flaps
devices during the boarding
1.1 up
process.
on the
We
trim
ask
and a
that larger
55 degree
electronic devices
flex.
are stowed once we depart from the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
And a 55 degree flex. That is all set. And we are good there on our performance. We can now come over to this side.
Good
And
evening, ladies and gentlemen,
will
and
bring
welcome aboard
the
flight
menu
556.
and the
Our
flight
flight time
plan
will
up.
be roughly 1 hour and 33 minutes. Please note the
Last thing we're
cabin
gonna
doors
do
now
is
closed. We ask that you
do
make
our
sure that all
altimeter
devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down
1008.
and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seatbacks
That
must
is
be in the
set
full upright
and
and locked
cross-check,
position for departure.
and
Cabin
we'll put
crew,
it in the
prepare cabin for
standby as
departure.
well. There we go. Alright, so the FMC is set, MCD is set, obtain clearance. We're going to be self-cleared. We're going to go up to 37,000 feet. Altimeters are set, transponder set to 2,000. PWS is on, GCS is on. Fueling, loading, and boarding is complete. APU master and APU is coming on. Throw the beacon on. And again, now we could probably taxi it right here. This is a taxiway as well. But the ground's a little rough there. We'll head out to the other one. But nice airport here, stuck down in the valley on this fjord. And as you can see, our departure is basically a straight ahead climb out, and then we'll turn around back to NA once we pass through 3,000 feet and continue our climb out and head on course. Alright, pushback not required. Once the APU is up, we can get ready to start the engine. So there's the APU up 100%. APU is available. APU bleed is now on. External power is now disconnected. Takeoff data is set 127, 140. FCU is set, managed, flight level 370. And managed flight directors are on both sides. And radios 122.8. We are on VATSim, so we're going to have to make our call outs while we are here. Now, over to our panel. We will bring up our ground services, have them remove the chocks and the GPU. Everything is clear on the aircraft. There's the flight information. Bring up our route. Alright. Narsarsuaq area traffic. Skyways 5556, stand 3, starting on the stand. We are good for engine start. So, beacon light is on, fuel pumps are coming on both sides. Outside air temperature is currently 18 degrees, that is good. Mission mode to start, and starting engine number 2. Sit out here, we'll listen to that. Very nice.
Release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened.
It's through 400 degrees, so we'll start engine number 1.
There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit.
Engine 2 is available.
Your nearest exit may be behind you.
Company message there, just going to pop down here, get Roger to clear the message. It's probably another copy of the load sheet. It is.
Pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind the flight plan. Tighten the straps if necessary, and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it is safe to remove it. In the unlikely event of a water landing, a life vest is located in a pouch under your seat or between
There's the bus kicking over.
When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch.
Engine stabilizing.
Put it over your head. Wrap the straps around your waist.
Wait for the engine available sign. It's our good start.
To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when exiting the aircraft. If your life vest does not inflate automatically, blow into
there we go. So engine 1 is available. You can hear the bleeds coming on.
With a whistle and light.
So generators 1 and 2 are up with no faults. Ignition mode selector to normal. Probe heats are on auto. Wing and engine anti-ice not required. Packs 1 and 2 are on with no faults. Flaps will set flaps 1.
We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering
Flight controls page. Trim we want up 0.1.
All of this information can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. Please read it and let a cabin member know if you have any questions.
0.1 is set.
Thank you for flying with us again.
We'll do our checks. There's full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, full left rudder, full right rudder, neutral. Flight controls are checked. APU can come off now. So there's the bleeds off and the APU is off. FCP is set for departure. Engine instruments are checked and everything looks good. Tiller is on. Nose light is set to taxi. Auto brakes max. Ground spoilers armed. And as we taxi down here, we'll do our config and brake test. Narsarsuaq area traffic, skyways 5556 taxiing from the apron to runway 24 via Alpha backtracking 24. That's brakes released. Starting to roll. There's our brake test. Now we can do our config. Everything is good, no blue. flight attendants positions for takeoff. So as we roll up to the indicator line, we're going to go run the turn-off lights on, strobes on, those lights on, get that on, weather radar, that transponder, and TCAS. We're all on. We're out onto the runway. As you can see, coming in from the other direction, unless you're in a very small airplane, would be rather hard. I guess you could come down that little valley to the left there, but again, you'd want to be in a caravan or something like that, just so you can make those turns to get aligned with the runway.
The cabin is ready for takeoff.
All right, cabin's ready. Turn around. There we go. Are pretty much lined up and ready to go. So brakes are set, engines to 40%. Narsarsuaq area traffic, skyways 5556 departing runway 24, straight out departure, then a turn back overhead the field departing to the east. Clock is running. Brakes released. Takeoff power set. Man flex 55 degrees. SRS enabled. Auto thrust blue. Sorry, tried to hold in a sneeze there. Airspeed's alive. You see we're going slightly downhill, especially at this part here. V1, rotate, and we have positive rate, gear up, speed brakes disarmed, and we're going to make a left turn, avoid the terrain. Terrain radar. We're going to kind of follow the little bay here up on a visual departure. And climb thrust. Bring the nose down to about a 10%. There we go. Aircraft is accelerating. There's all that wonderful terrain. Alright, we're getting up over the stuff on the right, so as we hit 3,000 feet, we'll make a right-hand turn. There's our 3,000 feet, so right-hand turn. keep that 10 degrees nose up. Just let her come around. Climbing as we go. Bring that to a 20-degree turn. And I think we're good there at 4,300 feet. We are pretty much clear. What we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to go direct to NA. We'll insert that. And we can go autopilot on. And we'll let the aircraft do its thing. Now start to accelerate. As we're up out of the terrain obstacles we had. There's the airport. And we're going to be overflying the airport as we head out eastwards. There we go, we're through S speed, so flaps can come up. Acceleration is continuing. And we do have some terrain coming up, but as we're continuing our climb, I'm not too worried about it. Keep an eye on it though. Beautiful day for flying out here in Greenland though. Nice climb rate going now. And our routing looks very good indeed. See, there's the coastline. This is what we're heading towards. There's a large central mountain range. So there's our turn. Over to standard pressure. Narsarsuaq area traffic. Skyways 55, 56 overhead the field, 10,000 feet. Leaving the area to the east, final call for Narsarsuaq.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. You may now turn on your larger portable electronic
get the lights off, turn off lights are off, taxi lights are off. And we're pretty calm up here, so we can turn off the seatbelt signs in the back. Accelerating now to our our higher altitude climb speed.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move about the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
Alright, so we got 645 miles to go. Estimated flight time for today's flight is 1 hour and 33 minutes. Block time gate to gate of 2 hours and 1 minute. We'll be cruising at an altitude of 37,000 feet and not expecting any major weather issues en route currently. Current weather in Keflavik is a little bit cloudy. We got some overcast in the air and broken clouds. Current temperature of about 9 degrees and slightly windy out of the west. We'll update that when we get closer. So it's time to sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, enjoy the in-flight entertainment, and we'll be back for the briefing for our arrival and descent. See that terrain we're coming up to here. for arrival and descent into Iceland shortly. I'm going to bring up the map now, and hopefully it cooperates today. There we go. We'll leave that there. Should be alright. And I'll move the chat out of the way. There we are. So as we climb above this snowy landscape, we'll take a look out of the... what are we going to see first when we get to Iceland? Well, we'll go out of the left side here. There's a nice view. Alright, we'll bring up the in-flight movie. And then we'll see you guys in a little bit. I'll be around in the chat and back on the mic for our briefing. Talk to you later.
From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Going to do your duty, or do we have to kill some of those fools?
All right, I'll get out there as soon as I can.
Surrender. Hold it. All right, keep him up. Hey, you. Come on, let's get to that valve.
I'll get the water to you.
All right, Roy.
Well, we've got to work fast. Blow the lock and open that valve.
Bad. I'm going to have to take you in.
Take it easy. We'll go along to jail peaceably as soon as we get enough water. But not until we do. I said take it easy.
That's a fine way for you to act. Roy Rogers, son of a congressman, fighting the water company.
If my dad had lived, there wouldn't have been any water company.
Just the same, the law's the law. And property's property.
And there goes ours, 100 feet a second. Make them turn off that water. Downhearted, Sheriff.
You won't be so chipper when you get behind bars, Roy.
Behind jail bars, huh? Well, Sheriff, that reminds me. Send my mail to the county jail. Send our mail to the county jail. Tell our saddle pals tonight if they've got some news to fly. Send our mail to the county jail. Say goodbye to your favorite gal. Say goodbye. Special gal. We're supposed to have a date, but we reckon we'll be late. Say goodbye to the favorite gal. Tonight when coyotes howl and mountain lions prowl, I'll be watching the moon and counting the stars. Can't you see me looking through the jailhouse bars? Pass the hat and collect our bail. Pass the hat and collect our bail. If they ask you where I am, say I made an awful dent, send that babe to the county jail.
What do you know about Western politics? You're a Washington attorney. Why, with beating up our men and stealing our water, that boy is a hero to those people out there.
Don't forget all about it before election day. See no cause for alarm?
Well, you don't, eh? And you need glasses. We're leaving for Satesville tonight. Congressman Scully.
Oh, but Dad, we can't leave tonight. We just mailing out the invitation to our reception.
Postpone it.
Postpone it?
Hello, Richard. How do you do, Mr. Van? You know my daughter. How do you do? Mr. Andrews. I see. Andrews. And Congressman Scully, of course. Richard. Welcome home, Congressman. Your campaign is on full blast. Campaign my foot. Posters never elected anybody.
Somewhere out there on the prairie alone, my guardian angel divine is there at rest somewhere in the west. That time, dear mother of mine, I'd give all I own today if someone could guide my way to that hallowed spot where she's sleeping, that high dear mother of mine.
A lot of votes you'll get that way.
Bet your life you will. Don't forget there's plenty of women voters. What do you think, Eleanor? Would you vote for him?
He has a nice voice.
And that's all he's got.
Can't campaign without advertising. He has no money for that.
I know this western country, and I promise to the throne. I'll prove when he's elected that my steers are never wrong. Let prosperity begin. Ring the bell and vote him in. It's Rogers for congressman. On to the polls, vote for Rogers, ring the bell. On to your goal, vote for Rogers, sing as well. I know this western country, and I promise to the throne. He's elected that my steers are never wrong. Let prosperity begin. Ring the bell and vote him in. It's Rogers, the congressman.
You don't need money for advertising if you have brains. Brains? Yes, brains. Get over to Rogers. Tell him I want to see him at my hotel. Important to have personal business. Yes, sir.
My boy, you're doing fine.
Thanks. How's the campaign managed?
Well, everything's under control.
Hello there.
All right.
Hello, Rogers. Can I speak to you privately for a minute?
Anything you have to say to me is all right for my friends to hear.
Hello, boys. Hello, Frog.
Hi.
In a few moments, our lovely flight crew will be starting our in-flight service. We'll be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. Please note we only accept credit
I'd like to
cards.
see you over at his hotel. He said it was very important and personal.
Sure, why not? Tell him I'll be over tomorrow.
Okay.
I bet that guy Fairbanks is scared, and he's going to talk turkey, you see.
Maybe. Anyway, it'll give me a chance to tell him what I think of him. And that'll be plenty. 50% cut on water rate. Don't make me laugh, Mr. Fairbanks. Let me tell you something, you coot. You've run this country into the ground long enough. 60%. Now, I didn't come here to haggle, Mr. Fairbanks. It's 75% or nothing. So I'm driving a hard bargain, Emma. Well, that's too bad. Here's my last word. If you don't knuckle down, we'll run you and your cutthroat crowd right out of business.
Bravo! Easy, Mo. Keep going, partner. You got him on the rope.
Hello. I don't generally talk to myself like this. I was just sort of rehearsing.
Well, I'm doing very well, too. But, how about putting a little more emphasis on your exit line? Since I presume it is your exit line.
Probably. Old man Fairbanks is apt to kick me out when I get that far.
I gather you're not exactly an admirer of John Fairbanks.
He's plenty tough. Probably the kind of a man who beats his wife.
He does. I've heard he chillaxed his daughter on occasion. So then she probably deserves it, so.
You bet she does. If I'm elected, I'll get federal water for this state of Mass to hog tie every politician in Washington.
Good for you. I hope you're elected.
Thanks. Well, I guess we'll be going.
Well, I'm going that way, too. We could ride along together.
Swell.
What is your daughter doing with Rogers? Huh? How do I know?
Well, I don't like it.
Tell that to Eleanor and see what happens.
Gentlemen, may I present Mr. Rogers? This is Tom Anderson. Mr. Richards, your worthy opponent, Congressman Scully.
How are you?
And my father, Mr. Fairbanks.
Your father?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Dad, Mr. Rogers considers you a skinflint, a penny-pinching pirate, and a public man.
Sounds to me like you just about covered the territory.
Beat it, Brett. We want to talk business.
Oh, that reminds me, Fairbanks. Is it true you beat your daughter?
No. But it's a darn good idea. Sit down. You seem to have a lot of common sense, Rogers. I think you're the man I need to look after some of my business interests.
That'd mean giving up my campaign for Congress, wouldn't it?
Well, yes, it would. But your salary would be 3 times as much as you'd make as a congressman.
Thanks, but I have a family witness going to Washington. I'd like to see some of the places my dad told me about.
But 4 times as much money interests you.
No, or 10 times.
You might regret passing up a mighty good proposition, young man.
Now I'll make you. Either your company cuts water rates to the bone, or I'll get federal control of water in this state when I go to Washington.
When you go to Washington, but you're not there yet, Mr. Rogers.
Imagine a congressman dressed like that.
Take off those clothes.
Well, what's the matter with him?
Now, this for one thing.
Say,
And this.
what?
And those pretty spats. The voters want a man to represent them, not a city dude. You're going to be a man of the people. You're going to wear Western clothes and ride a horse.
A horse?
Yes.
I can't ride.
But you will ride.
What?
Yes.
Whoa, Nellie.
And just now, Fred, the people are giving Congressman Scully a grand ovation. Just listen to all those cheers. You know, Fred, a few days ago, I thought that Rogers was their choice. But now, it looks like a landslide for Scully. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you will hear your candidate for re-election, William P. Scully.
Friends, my friends, it's great to get into these clothes again and to feel a horse beneath me once more.
and gentlemen, here's a round-by-round description. The son of the saddle's horse has just run away with him, and Congressman Roy Rogers has rescued him from a horse trough.
We're in now with Rogers elected. Letting a hick rancher outsmart us.
You insisted that I ride a horse. I told you I...
Oh, shut up and get out of here.
Well, now, that's the way you feel about it.
Get out before I lose my temper.
No, you don't.
Whipped. By a smart aleck Yoke.
How does it feel to take a licking, Dad?
Becky, this is only round one. We're leaving for Washington, too. We'll block him there at every turn.
Thanks.
Do you know any cowhands that uses perfume?
Thanks for the send-off, folks. And don't worry, I'm going to see that water bill goes through pronto. I figure I ought to be back in about a week.
Now me, being Congressman Roy Rogers is here personal executive and secretary, I promise that if Roy... Hey, wait for me! Wait for me!
Congressman Marlowe's office, please. Good morning. Congressman Rogers calling Congressman Marlowe again. Oh. When do you expect? Yes, please have him call me back. I don't know what Marlowe has an office for. He's never in it.
Well, he's got to have some place where you can find out that he ain't in.
Anything important?
Oh, no, just the usual 4011 Constitutionalists wanting to know where that federal water is you promised.
So do I.
Is there nobody else you can see about that water bill?
No, sir. Marlowe's the money man, and he has to be seen.
Who's that from, Marlowe?
No, it's not even signed. But say, listen to this. If you want to meet Congressman Marlowe, join the fox hunt near his country estate next Saturday.
Hey, it sounds like a jailbreak. We better get out of here. Them bloodhounds is vicious.
The hunt's started. Come on.
All them hound dogs against one poor little fox. They ain't no justice. Hey, that horse is running away with her.
I thought your horse was running away.
No, but the fox is. Well, I'd have won this brushing another 100 yards if you hadn't played Lochinvar.
I'm awful sorry.
Well, doesn't matter. See, tell me, how's the singing congressman making out in Washington?
Not so good. The only luck I've had so far is meeting you again. I've tried to follow your advice about seeing Congressman Marlowe, but he dodges me like a wild mustang.
My advice?
Nobody else I know uses perfume writing paper. It's mighty nice of you to show me the ropes, even if Marlowe is too busy crashing society.
It's not crashing society. Congressman Marlowe gave this fox hunt because he wanted a political favor from one of his guests.
Looks like a medicine man putting on a show to get his customers in line to buy.
Yes, that's it. You see, here in Washington, that's the trick to get to the ear of the right person.
Well, I couldn't very well give a fox hunt.
No. No, but you could give a party.
Well, who'd come?
Oh, look.
Get these hound dogs out of here. Wide away.
Hey, what's happened?
Shoot. Wide away. Get out of here. Shoot. Get on away from here. Get out of here. Get these hound dogs out of here.
Oh, Dad, you remember Mr. Rogers, don't you?
What? Oh, yeah, sure. How do you do?
Well, Congressman Marlowe. This is Congressman Rogers.
Glad to know you, Mr. Rogers. How do you do, Congressman? I'd like a few words with you. I want to ask you to...
To be a guest next Tuesday evening at Fairview Country Club. Oh, all of you, Mr. Rogers is giving a surprise party. Doesn't that sound exciting? Oh, you'll be there, won't you, Senator Wilson?
Certainly, Miss Fairbank.
And no party would be complete without you and Mrs. Marlowe, Congressman. I adore surprise parties. Of course we'll have one we had ready. Why, I think it's perfectly sweet of Mr. Rogers to invite us all. Don't you, dear? We'll make it then.
Swell. I'll send the water to Larry and the boys.
Oh, join hands and circle down south and another little moonshine in your mouth and lose your hold and the grand trail back from a lady in Lee. Al, the man your left and a right, your part go right and left and a hurry up, boys, and a don't be slow. There's chicken in a bread pan picking up dough and to meet your partner a wall's flow. Meet your honey and a patter on the head. She don't like biscuit and feed her cornbread and chew out of back her and squirt on the wall and swing that gal if she ain't too tall.
Rogers certainly has a peculiar idea of entertainment.
Yes, isn't it quite? I don't know when I've had such a good time.
So far, folks, all you've seen of ranch life, it's been a lot of fun. There's another side I want you to see. And that's a surprise, I promise. These first scenes are the way our ranches used to look. Every range had grass like that in the summer. One winter covered it with snow. We had plenty of that good alfalfa for feed. We fattened our beef on that grain. Every valley and every canyon had a stream of running water. Then nature took a hand. Every year we had less and less rain. This is what happened. Dry spells, drought, and dust storms. After the dust storm, this is what is left. That's Glenn Saunders' house. He lost his 2 children from dust pneumonia. That's Luke Chalmers' place. He just gave up and moved away. Never even stopped to dig up his equipment. Those cattle were Dave Peters. He lost 150 head, which meant every cent he owned. All of this tragedy, ruined, ladies and gentlemen, because of lack of water. Times like these, folks just naturally turn to prayer. Dust, dust, dust in the sky, dust on the trail, dust in my eyes, dust, dust. Can't see the sun, can't find my way, the dust has won. The cattle and the sheep bedded down to sleep seem to realize their fate. The vultures in the sky know the time is nigh. Will they fly away or wait? Oh Lord, please ease my pain. Oh Lord, where is your rain? buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope lay. Here was a place where the cattle would graze, the corn and alfalfa once waved. Where are the ranchers, the cow punching crowd? What has become of the rain? Out of the blue came a threatening cloud, causing this awful change. Oh Lord, please ease my pain. Oh Lord, where is your rain and sunshine? That's must it be? Can this be eternity? Oh Lord, have mercy on poor me.
We've got to get busy on that bill, Marlowe. I agree with you. Rather unethical, but very effective. I'm going west in about 10 days, and I'll get you relief if I find those conditions existing. You have my support on that water bill too, Rogers.
Dad, looks as though you've lost round 2.
Well, you needn't rub it in. Think it's funny, do you?
Fairbanks, I had no idea that conditions in your state were so serious.
They aren't. I'll take you out there and show you that Rogers misrepresented things.
I hope you're right for your own good. After all, it's your water company that's on the spot, you know.
Young woman, you helped stage this entertainment. You realize it might ruin my water company?
Oh, one of your water companies.
Are you in love with this cowboy?
Oh, I don't know. Yes.
You tell him for me that he's in for the doggonest licking he ever had.
Oh, yes, I'll tell him. But he won't believe me.
Say, that was swell. And the way you was calling them ranchers out by their names, you even had me fooled to think they's neighbors ours.
Oh, weren't they?
No, those pictures were taken in another state, Elmore. I couldn't get a newsreel of her own dust storms.
Tell me, my friend, is your middle name Barnum by any chance?
Oh, no, his middle name's James.
Oh, I see. After Jesse.
Oh, no.
Leaving so soon, Mr. Fairbanks?
Yes. I'll wipe that grin off your face yet.
Never mind, you were grand.
You were hell. When will I see you? In the West pretty soon.
Now, what a coincidence. So are we.
Hello.
Oh, yes, Daddy, I'm coming.
And so I take great pleasure in introducing to you the most important man who ever hit Old Sage County, and the only man who can give us federal controlled water, Congressman Marley.
Fellow citizens, as chairman of the Appropriations Committee, I am authorized to announce that we are here to make a study of the drought conditions in this section.
Cover up fast, Congressman. Let me get with this.
However, we have already learned that conditions are not as bad as we were led to believe, and we find that existing utilities are quite adequate for the present. Well, that is all. Thank you for your kind welcome. I said your methods were unethical, but I underrated you. You're nothing but a cheap trickster.
I admit to telling my church it wasn't taken in this state, but the conditions here are just as bad, if not worse.
As far as I'm concerned, young man, that bill never will be passed.
I'll back you up on that, Marlowe. I had a right to trick you when the lives of these folks depend on water. If you don't think this country's dry, just look it over and see for yourself.
Sorry, but I'm not interested.
But I came all this way to see the drought conditions of the dust storm.
Don't be silly, dear. There aren't any.
I told you I'd wipe that smile off your face.
That's very capable help. I should have known better than to trust a woman with a secret.
Edward, I'm so hot and dusty. Perhaps we'd better not go any farther after all.
Sorry, dear, but it's too late now. You wanted to go, so I promised Mr. Fairbanks I'd meet him at the van.
But Edward...
Get out, all of you. Is that the drivers? We're taking the car.
This is an outrage. I'm Congressman Marlowe.
You can't leave us out here afoot. You can use our horses. Well, there's only one thing to do. Take the horses and ride back to Sageville.
My, mercy, what a dry country. I don't see how people live here. It wasn't always like this. Wouldn't be now if the farmers had water.
Evidently, you still believe in motion pictures. Listen. There must be a camp ahead.
That means a drink of water.
The old chuck wagon rhythm starts about noon. Then you'll hear those cowhands sipping soup very soon. And there's music to the rhythm, music to the rhythm, music to the rhythm of the range. Hadi-yolo, yolo, 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 yeah, yolo, yolo, yeah, yolo, 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 hadi-yolo, yolo, 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 yeah. It's nice of you to drop in. Hello, Congressman. Don't tell me you're making an official tour of the drought section after all.
We're making a tour, all right, but not an official.
Why, we were held up by bandits, and they took our cars away from us and made us ride these horrible bumpy horses.
We'll tell you about that later. Right now, we're too thirsty to talk.
That's too bad.
Yeah, and ain't that tough? We only got about a pint of water left. We done give it to the horse.
You see, we didn't expect to have any visitors.
You mean you can't even give us a drink?
Well, we might find enough for the ladies, but the men will have to wait till we reach Larkin's place tomorrow. Get the canteen, Frog. You folks, just make yourselves at home. Boys, unsaddle the horses and fix them a bite to eat.
farther to this Larkin ranch?
Not so much, just the other side of the river.
River? Did you say river? Where?
Right there, used to run bank full when everybody got the water from it.
But what happened?
Your company built a dam and dried it up.
Dried it up? Well, everything seems dried up in this country.
That's what I tried to tell you.
Say, it looks like a water wagon. Hey! Stop!
Can we have some water? I reckon you can, mister. Right around behind.
Come on.
Well, Mrs. Marlowe.
Marlowe, ain't you the congressman that was gonna do so much for us ranchers, and then change your mind?
Yes, but then conditions were misrepresented.
You sure fixed it so I got to haul water 20 miles. None of you get it drunk.
Now, what are you doing? Hold on. That isn't right. Come on now. Hey, wait a minute. Listen, that's not right. We've got to have water.
Why didn't you help me stop him? He has no right to
Just
refuse
as much
us.
right as your company had to refuse the rancher's water.
Look! What is it, a cyclone?
No, it's a dust storm, and it's coming our way.
Dust storm? What'll we do?
You saw pictures of one, Mr. Marlowe. Now you're going to see the real thing.
We've got to find shelter.
Come on.
Put the horses in the shed.
Howdy, Roy.
Where's your husband, Mrs. Larkin?
He's going to town for grub. He ought to be back pretty soon.
Have you any water?
We have some now, mister, but the cistern will be full of dust after this storm.
Sister, I thought you said the Great Western Pipeline ran through here.
Well, I've been informed.
Of course, the water company wouldn't misinform anybody, would it, Andrew?
The pump's in the corner right over there. Help yourselves. Anything we got here, you're welcome to.
Do you have dust pneumonia out here, Rogers?
No, you needn't worry. We don't even have dust storms here. They have them in another state.
You need to rub it in.
I can't stand much more of this.
I thought you were the one who wanted to see the dust storm.
Oh! Whoops, the dust storm's over.
What do we owe you, Mrs. Larkin?
Land sakes, mister, you don't owe me nothing. Roy paid me yesterday.
But we weren't here yesterday.
So the whole thing was a frame-up, eh?
Everything but the dust storm. That was an added attraction.
You mean the hold-up and the water wagon were planned?
That's right.
I see nothing to laugh at. Young man, I want to shake you by the hand. Your methods are not only unethical, they're phenomenal. But don't you worry. I'll okay that water bill.
Thanks.
Roy, the Rangers are headed to blow up the dam.
Rogers, if they blast that dam, they'll lose government support.
I'll stop.
I'm Congressman Marlowe. Head for the dam and step on it.
All right, Bridget. Thanks for the warning. We'll teach them a lesson.
There they are!
Dismount! Take cover!
Turn back! Get behind that hill!
Yeah, that stopped them.
We better stay here a while and make sure. Did you see them?
Yes, we turned them back. They've gone over the hill. Come on, get back here and get down.
We'll never get to the dam now. Unhook them horses.
All we got to do is to turn that dynamite wagon loose down that hill, blast the ditch and the water can't get to the dam. Get that wagon to rolling.
That's the dynamite wagon.
We better get out of here.
No, wait.
Rogers, ring the bell. On your gold, look for Rogers, fingers well.
It's one that fight for water. What does the man want now?
I'm out to win a bigger stake and you can show me how.
If you want a happy life, just say yes and be the wife of Rogers, the congressman.
Alright, we're back. We're about 80 miles from top of descent, so we're going to start looking at planning our arrival. I'll just grab the most recent weather out of Keflavik. Throw it into the chat. See, winds are still out of the west. They've decreased a little bit to 6 knots. Overcast at 2,900 feet. QNH is 1009. Put that into our standby. So we have that there. So we can enter this information down into our FMC, or the McDo, as it's called down in the Airbus, MCDU. I'll put it here. So QNH of 1009. Temperature is currently 12 degrees. Winds are 250 at 6. Transition level is, I think it's 7.5. It is 7.5. 075. Now we're doing the ILS Zulu as mentioned before. So the full ILS minimums are 369. I'll put that in as the barrel. So that is now set up. Let me go back over to our performance. So you can see we're coming in basically straight in towards the airport at this point in time. So we do have ATIS up at the airport. Tower is online. So this was issued at 20:30, so about half an hour ago. Runway 28, you'd expect ILS or RNP approach. We're doing the ILS. Transition level of 7,500 or 7.5. It's the weather. Central training area is closed. West training area is closed. That's because of the low cloud. Advise on initial contact. We have information. Echo. We'll see if that changes. Now, frequency we're going to want is 1183. So we'll dial that in. Get it ready. There we go. And as mentioned, we're going to be coming on the south side of the airport, and we're going to do that loop around and get ourselves lined up and ready to go. Platform altitude 1,800 feet. And we did do the continual descent down to the point, so we're going to just put in 1,800 feet and descend straight down to there. So this is the penultimate leg, the second to last leg. From Iceland, we'll be flying back to England on the next time we do this, and that will end our world tour. Flights for this week. We are flying the Canada tour, mixed Canada and Canadian. Our Canadian tour, flying out of Prince George tomorrow. Wednesday, we're back down in the U.S. in the DC-3s. Carrying on with our U.S. tour, and Thursday is our day off, and then Friday we are back in Aurora, where we're going to be flying out of Ketchikan, Alaska, back down to Vancouver. Now, a bit of a programming note going forward. I'll be taking 2 weeks off after Friday's flight. And that is because there's a new addition coming to the house. More information will be posted on the Discord, but I'm going to need a couple weeks to get her settled in and used to everything that's going on. So I can't really walk away for a couple hours and leave her on her own at that young age. More to follow on the Discord. But new first officer for us here at the Digital Fight Deck household. Alright, everything's looking good. Looks like we're going to come to the edge of this cloud layer, but we do have more coming, and looks like Iceland is in an overcast situation at this point in time. So I'm going to remove the map here now. Let's see, we're just going straight forward and then making that series of left turns. Put the map back down at the bottom of the page now. Looks like the OBS Streamlabs has got the fade in transition working again, so it's nice to see that I can fade my layers in and out. Looks better than an abrupt cut. Fuel on board is still good. 3.8 tons. So that is not a concern. Any issues coming into the airport? Well, we do have some higher terrain off to the east. It shouldn't be too bad though. Looks like we're looking at 1,000 foot roughly. The MSA is 4,000 feet. We will be descending below that, but of course we are heading towards the airport. So what we can do is quickly pop down here. If we go to our flight plan, first point, fix info. We're gonna go BIKF as our reference. We're going to put a 25-mile radius on there. If we go to the next page, we can go BIKF, and we want for runway 28, and we want that should show the radio. No, so we're going to want 282 as our radial. That gives us that side. We want the reciprocal actually. So that would be 102. .282. 27 is 90, 28 would be 100, 282 would be 102. Yeah, that's right. Alright, so that's giving us our reciprocal there. So we can go back to our performance page. So it just gives us some reference points as we come in. A 25-mile ring. We're going to leave the terrain radar on, of course, since we do have some of the Icelandic mountains in the area we have to deal with. And we'll be making our ATC announcements onto Unicom until we turn inbound on the localizer, at which point we'll contact Tower and get clearance to land. Before landing, we're going to be landing on 28. We're probably going to taxi to somewhere at the terminal. We'll let them assign us a gate. Not a big deal. First restriction we have is at Old Jess. We have to be between 3,500 and 5,000 and at 230 knots. So we'll bear that in mind, and we'll do our first call when we hit Eldis and let everyone know we're inbound on the approach. So coming down here, we're down to 13 miles. About 5 miles out, we'll start our descent. And then let the aircraft get on profile. Again, we'll probably be using the speed brakes to slow her down. Can't wait for version 2 to come out so we can see what they give us here. We're going to put in the Keflavik VOR as well, just as reference 112.8. Throw that up in there. Now turn that on. There we have our needle pointing and our range, 93 miles to the airport. Seven miles out, we might as well start down. So we're going to, as I mentioned, go right down to our platform since we got a continuous descent planned, and we'll switch that over to hundreds. 1,800 feet is our target altitude for the ILS, and we can manually adjust that if we have to ensure capture. There we go. 4 miles, starting down. See our profile. We're going to go slightly under profile. We'll hold at about 1,000 foot per minute descent, and then we will catch up to our profile as we come through. This gives us a little bit of a gentler launch into it, rather than an abrupt dive.
To assist with customs at our destination, flight attendants will begin handing out forms momentarily. Please review and complete these forms and keep them with you for presentation upon arrival.
There's the profile coming in, and we're nosing down to match it. And we're going to tag our speed at 280 when we do the transition, and then we'll hold that all the way down. I think as you can see, she's getting quite steep on the descent. We're watching our max speed indicator keep moving up. Is coming up. There we go. We're going to hold her there at 280. And we'll add the speed brake, as we don't want her extending past that. Of course, that's going to start giving us all the warnings that we've left it out too long, but that's fine. We don't want the aircraft speed getting too high. Nothing wrong with it as long as we're not overspeeding, but I find it just gets a little bit hard to start slowing down at the other end if they suddenly give you something to slow down to, and you're rocketing down at 310, 320 knots. Coming up to Eldis. Eight miles out. Speed's holding 280, and we're through 30,000 feet. 1 hour and 16 minutes into the flight. There's the warning. We'll ignore that. And the other restriction we have is 250 knots below 10,000 feet, which is the standard one. That always applies unless advised by ATC. Keflavik area traffic, Skyways 5556, descending through flight level 273 at Eldis on the Eldis 3 hotel arrival for the ILS runway 28 Keflavik. So it's interesting, can't wait for, as I mentioned, version 2 to come out, see what improvements they've made and what updates they've created for us here. So we checked the arrivals and departures at Keflavik. We've got 4 inbounds. There's myself coming in from Greenland. There's a couple coming in from Europe. Another one coming in from somewhere else on Iceland. I'm not sure where. It's like a Berlin Air coming in from Munich. Not sure what EK is. EasyJet coming in from there. Looks like 2 aircraft getting ready to go out. We got a Iceland Air heading out to JFK, and Austrian heading down to, I think that's Vienna. So we might see some aircraft on the ground. As for anyone around us, not we're not going to have any interference on our arrival and approach. So we're pretty good there. It's 23,000 feet. We're through 25, so we'll get the signs on in the back. Let the staff start doing their cleanup.
The flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
Do a quick check on our ATIS. Is it still echo? It is still echo. I guess he's doing bottom of the hour. He should be okay. Can't see it. Well, I'm starting to see some of the mountains there on the horizon. Just do a speed brake reset. Alright, set check. So, arrival weather and data has been obtained and set. MCDU approach page. We did. Radios are set. NTIs not required. Temperatures are pretty high. We're going to be okay. Not worried about icing. Altimeters are set. 1009 on the standby or on the standby display. And then we'll switch over when we get a bit lower. Approach has been briefed. Missed approach. Well, Mr. Approach, we climb on 282 to 3,000 feet and then get vectored from there. So that'll be all right. Auto brakes, we're going to set auto brakes low. Can't do the speed brake yet since we are using it. There's 18,000 feet. I know transition level is 7.5, but we're going to switch over now just because of letting the aircraft stabilize, and we're not going to be stopping before we hit that. We're just going to be going right through. Thank you. So as we approach 10,000 feet, we'll bring our speed back to 245 knots. I'll help keep us under the 250. Yeah, nice sunset going on. We're now the time of year we're flying over here, and the sun is getting a little bit lower in the west as we head east. Still not going to set for a while since we're so far north. There's 16,000 feet. As you can see, it's looking pretty good for us to come in and do everything we need to do. I wish we had the flyover option here. Whoa! A little bit of mouse action going rampant. So on the ILS we do have a 250 foot that we have to hit at the FKI 28, which is fine. it's not hard limited in there to above. So we're going to do a hard limit. There we go. I'll make sure we hit it on time. Alright, 10,000 feet coming up. So we'll get the lights all on. And everything else is looking good. And we will let them know in the back that we are heading in.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Well, I turned it back
You're
on
not able
again.
to move around the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
Well, let me turn it on again. There we go. I don't think the call button works.
We have begun our final descent into your destination.
Anyway, here we
Flight
come,
attendants
10,000
will pass
feet.
through the cabin to collect any
We'll
trash
bring that
once final
speed down to
flight.
245.
Tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
So we have a max of 230 coming up. We're going to activate our approach phase. And if we look here, our clean speed will be 209. So we're actually, when we hit KF 372, we're going to go into managed speed. That'll drop us down to that 209 and help us with control as well. Get some lovely color on the clouds here as we approach that overcast layer. 8,000 feet. I'm aware. So, if we bring the speed brakes in, are we going to start accelerating? Engine should go to idle. We're pretty good. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll have to remember to arm as we come in. Alright, so there's the clouds. We're going to lose our visibility for a while, so we're going to be going by our terrain radar. In we go. Starting to cloud surf here. A few gaps. It is a scattered layer, not a complete overcast layer. Alright, over to manage speed. That's going to drop us down to our 209 clean speed. Speed's starting to come down. So we are gonna use the speed brakes a little bit, help us get down to that 209. As we come through the turn here, it's 230. Did have to be under 6,000 when we made that turn, which we were. There we go. We'll bring the speed brakes back in. As we hit Algez, we're going to go flaps 1. One last quick check of ATIS, see where we stand on our ATIS number. It is still Echo. We're going to stick with that now as we're coming in. No other aircraft around. Everything else is good. Set my TCAS to below. Not really a worry, as I mentioned, there's no other aircraft in the area. Alright, so there's the decel point, so we're going to go flaps 1. A little bit of terrain starting to poke through. You can see the line we're now going to follow as we come along and get on our runway center line. Alright, so speed brakes are no longer going to be required, so we can arm those for landing. Auto brakes are armed as well. Lights roll on. Cabin is ready. Taxi light on. There's our turn. Landing systems will come online. Localizer glide slope 13 miles from the airport. We're descending down now. See the glide path is coming up. We should slip under that. We do have to watch. We do have terrain in the area, though it's still a couple thousand feet below us. We're going to turn in tower on 1183. Let's check their frequency. There we are, slipping below. Just gear and flaps now. Looking very good. Now we're going to be looking at exiting at Bravo 1 once we're down. There's our turn. Alarm approach mode. Localizer is capturing glide slope armed. As soon as we roll wings level, we'll give the airport a call. Can't see anything at the front windows at the moment. Clouds went down to 2,900 feet. We should break out shortly. There's the localizer. And there we go, wings level.
2,500.
Keflavik Tower, Skyways 5556 with you established ILS Zulu runway 28.
Skyways 5556, Keflavik Tower, good evening to you, winds 250 degrees at 6 knots, runway 28, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 28 for Skyways 5556. Alright. We're going to hold our speed. There's the airport ahead. Starting to appear, getting that orange cloud. Going to go over the bottom of the bay there. As soon as our glide slope hits the first stop, we're going to go flaps 2, which will start slowing us down, and then we're going to go geared down as well. Still slowly descending down to that 1,800 feet for the final point, which keeps us under the, continually sliding under the glide slope, which is fine. We're right where we're supposed to be. Let's give it a slight bit longer. We'll do it. So there's 6 miles coming up. All right. So flaps 2. Gear down. Airports to the right. Or terminal buildings anyway. There's the glide slope capturing. Still sneaking down to 1800, but the glide slope is now taking control. Flaps 3. And we're below 160, flaps full. So cabin is notified, lights roll on, gear down 3 green, speed brakes armed, auto brakes armed, landing memo, no blue. It's 1,300 feet. This is custom scenery here at the airport. $1,000 to go. Ideally, the 4 lights on the other side would be mirroring the ones on the left. But you can't have everything.
500.
500. Autopilot off. I have control.
$100 above.
Flying in on the Pappies now, ignoring the glide slope.
Minimum.
Winds are a little bit of a left crosswinds. We're landing.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
A little bit of a wind pickup. Wing.
5.
And we're down. Well, we went a little long there. Reversers are up. 80 knots. 60 knots. Manual braking. Reversers are off. We'll roll out here to Bravo 1. Welcome to Iceland. Flaps up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 9:32 p.m. and it's currently about
so we're going to get the strobes off, we'll get our landing lights off, turn off lights will come off. Those lights will stay on, the others will stay on. We're going to start up the APU.
Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted
A little bit of illumination in here. Keflavik Tower, Skyways 5556, clear 28 at Bravo 1, looking to taxi to the terminal. Tower, if that was you transmitting, nothing came across.
My apologies. Skyways 5556, taxi Bravo Kilo Charlie November 13, stand 8.
Bravo Kilo Charlie November 32 or November 132 stand 8 for Skyways 5556. All right, so we know where we're going. We're going to go to stand 8. Let's see if they will give us stand 8. They will. No, flying school's not going to do it. Iceland there. All right, let's head up. Just a taxi. It's rather dark here. It's interesting. Looking for 13, which is just past the terminal. It's a little bumpy here. The runway is slightly lower elevation. Alright, so this is Kilo. I'm going to go down here to Charlie. Beautiful clouds in the sky with that low level sunlight hitting them. Alright, so we're coming up, that's Charlie up there. We're gonna come here and turn off the transponder. They break down their segments. They're listed Echo 1, Echo 2, or whatever. We're at Kilo 3 right now, then it'd be Kilo 4, Kilo 2. Here's Charlie. And we're gonna turn onto November. Up the top of the hill here. A little bit of power. All right, we'll make the turn onto November. And then we're going for November 13, which will be on the left just as we pass the terminal, end of the terminal. Spot 11. Spot 14. These are on the south end, and this is where we want to go in over here. When we flew the around the world in the DC-6s, we parked up over here on the outer stands. So it's going to be the third one on our left. Quite a severe turn to get in there. We're going to be facing kind of at a 110-degree angle from where we went in. There's 12. You can see the ground equipment's already there. There's 10. Pull back. We'll kill the taxi light now. Come up around the curve. And here is 8. waiting. We do not have a working safe dock. Thought I'd turn that off. There we go. Turn that on. Let's get her forward. Put the nose on the cross. First one, since we're a small airplane. And there we go. We are parked. So down we come to our pad. We're going to go to our ground services. We'll get down to chalk the plane, hook up the GPU, and we can do our check. So ground power is now established. Fuel control levers are off. Beacon light will go off. That will go off as well. Fuel pumps come off. Seatbelt signs and devices will come off as well. Flight vectors, landing systems are off, and
deboarding requested.
Deboarding can start. Oh, yeah, I forgot. All right, so let's deboarding. Let's get that in. Get the doors as well, and everybody is coming in and the bags are being unloaded. So once again, everybody, thank you very much for flying with us. We'll be back tomorrow as we continue our tour of Canada, once again flying the A320 but in a retro Air Canada livery. Hope to see you there and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, sharing the video, all that good stuff. We do have a Discord. You can come over to it. Links are in the description. You can find out all our information. You can fly with us as all our live streams are community flights, and you're more than welcome to come along. See you on the next one. Bye for now.